last episode of This Old Mustang, we brought another guest with us who has a really, as you can see behind me, a really good looking Mustang, okay? I actually love this car. I love the look of it, everything about it. And, you know, since I got the 4.63 valve, the question that always comes up is the 4.63 valve faster or equal or inferior to an EcoBoost? Because this is not a Coyote, this is a EcoBoost. We already know Vince's EcoBoost runs 1380 at 100 miles an hour. And this is Rich, by the way.
How you doing?
Okay, that's his car. And Rich could tell you, we're the same age, and Rich, back in a 1970 440 Challenger would run 1380.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know,
yeah, so with the doing 4 cylinders,
the whole world has changed.
Yeah.
It's changed from 2006. What year is this?
That's a 2015.
To 2015. So we're going to do a little experiment here and see what happens, okay? Yeah. But first I want to do a walk around of Rich's EcoBoost, because I think the color combination that he used and the small attention to detail was just perfect, absolutely perfect.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And I want to point out, number one, what caught my eye that day I was driving past Ott's Green Top was that the pony was yellow. Okay, you did that, right?
Yes.
And it contrasts beautifully against this honeycomb grille.
I also put the turbo on there. That was a
yes.
2.3.
Additionally, look at this understated, not out in your face, not 6-inch letters on your rear window. This understated turbo, and it's red. It looks stock from the factory. It's not. It contrasts with the yellow terrifically, and I have to tell you, yellow is my favorite muscle car color.
Me too.
In 1979, when I was 15 years old, I was working in an industrial park, and right across the street, a guy had a yellow, canary yellow, just like this, except they had a black, you know how they had a vinyl roof on them back then?
Yep.
1967 GTO.
Sweet.
With Kreger's on it.
Yeah, sweet.
With Kreger's and Goodyear GT, BF Goodyear GT radials.
White razors.
I fell in love with that car. It's like, that is the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then if you remember when American Graffiti came out, what did John Milner drive? He had the fastest car in the valley, and it was a canary yellow Deuce Coupe.
Yeah.
Yep. So yellow's always been my favorite. You can't go wrong with black, really. The red stripes again, just enough to offset and make it, and you know it's sporty when it rolled into the. When you rolled into the Wawa, Ant looked at me. He goes, "Uh-oh." He goes, "Uh-oh, that's a race car, man."
Still a 4-cylinder, brother.
And then again, the understated turbo, red turbo, and are those polished aluminum, those rims?
Yep.
Polished aluminum, 18, 19?
I think they're 19.
19-inch rims, and they're beautiful. Look at the design of the spokes. Really great looking rims. The worst thing you could have done was painted those black, or ordered them black.
You know, I wanted to do them right. I wanted to get them, but I thought maybe I'd be getting a little too carried away then. You know what I mean? But I like the yellow and red combination.
Trying to picture red, and I think it looks perfect the way it is.
I feel you.
Come on around this way, Ant. Look at the sweep of this thing. I'm not even an S550 fan. I like the S197, but this is really starting to grow on me. I don't think anybody, now this understated wing, you see a lot of these 2015 SS550 and up, they've got this giant, these guys are putting these giant wings on the back. Okay, even if it is an EcoBoost, he's got, look at this here. This is blacked out, this is nice contrast, but it looks stock. Is that stock?
Yep.
Okay, and there's a difference between stock. Some of these guys with the S197s, they will put anything they can think of on it just for the sake of putting it on.
I don't want to, and you know what else too? It's got the premium package, so it's, a lot of the bells and whistles come with the premium package, so that's a little upgrade. But motor-wise, it's not upgrade, but suspension-wise, rear-wise, it does.
And then these are pure Mustang. The configuration of these 3 tri-bars is about as Mustang as you can get, again with the beautiful turbo. Just in case the guy behind you isn't sure,
Right.
there's a little reminder right there, okay? And just, if you look at the old 06, and that's why it's called this old Mustang, because that's a new Mustang, you got your tri-bar lights.
Yep.
It's just another variation of that, and your big chrome thing that says GT. So, what I'm trying to say is from 06 until 2015, they've stayed true.
Yep.
They stay true to the genre.
If I can, see how yours are flat on the brake lights? I'm looking at brake lights now. They're that brake light on this vehicle, but they're digital. There are bars inside it. They want $449 for the damn thing. I don't know if it's too much. Leave it alone.
Vince's father has a Coyote, and he made them flat like this.
Yep, yep.
And I have to tell you, my opinion,
You like the raised?
I like the stock. I like the stock better, and I like the flat better, because a lot of guys will take these out and they'll put like the same lights that you would have on a 2014, a 2014 or a 2013. They're individual.
Yep.
And I think the flat ones go better with that.
Well, the ass in that thing looks thick, man. That's what I like about it. It flattens out and it's thick in the back.
Yeah.
And the exhaust works too, bro. I wish I could have got rid of my mufflers in time for this. My issue is going to be the inner core. This heat just eats this thing alive. And another thing,
Vince says the same thing about his.
it eats it up. Now, having an 87 Grand National, you with a T-Type, you know what the heat does to them vehicles. My best time was an October morning. The oil's not even through the block.
In November, it ran 1290.
Yeah, right.
In the middle of August, it ran 1350.
Yeah, right. That's a big difference.
That's
man.
0.6 of a second.
Difference.
And I told you, Ant, or I told T in one of the last videos, I told him a 373 gear is going to give you 3 car lengths.
Yep.
That's 0.3 of a second.
Yep.
So, you know, literally the high, and not for nothing, but even a normally aspirated high performance engine does not like the heat.
No, nothing does. But turbos seem to, I call it turbo lag. It's people call it, and again, I put a cold air intake on this, but I don't see it as a cold air intake because it's pulling the heat out from underneath the hood.
Pop the hood, let's see where the intake is. Because what happens is you get heat soak under here.
Well, that's what's happening. It's got no way of getting out.
That's why I got those big snorkels on.
I like that, man.
That's a wind tunnel under there.
I like the looks of it. You got a hell of a lot more motor to cool down too, bro.
That's true. Okay, so here's your cold air box, and you got a heat guard here. Wow, feel the heat guard. That's
just coming
hot.
from Washington Township, man.
It's not as hot. It's hot. Wow, woo!
Yeah.
That's hot too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Trust me, I can tell when it's heated up. You're slipping and sliding. You get turbo lag. What I find out when it gets like this, you can't mash it. You got to run your foot through the pedal at one consistent pace and fast. But if you mash it, you're just pulling air and you're losing time on that.
Yeah, and what happens is, so now, see, the stock air box probably had the opening like on my stock
And
air
it has
box,
a boot that runs right here.
and it goes right into the fender, and it was actually cooler than your aftermarket stock
If
air
you
box.
look and see what I did, I took a 5/8 drill and drilled holes in this honeycomb to pull more air into the, because it was sealed up. So just a
I'll tell
stupid
you,
thing,
Rich,
little things I
what
did.
you really want to do is if you had a Cervini ram or fair hood, all of this would be wide open.
Sure.
And
Cool
and there'd
air.
be wind going right in there.
Absolutely. This hood might look nice to some, but it's not efficient for what you're doing. And again,
What in the world's going on over here? You got no bolts on these the shock struts, on the
see,
struts and
you
shocks?
you're out of my ball game because I have no idea what that is.
Well, you got your 3 holding it down, but I wonder what's going on there.
You got me. I'm ignorant.
They're painted from the factory, so I guess it's supposed to be like that.
There's the downpipe and the fake ass catalytic converter. They didn't want to pass me, man. I had 3 people crawling through this thing. You know, they take pictures of the bottom of your car in motor vehicles.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought there were. I'm dripping sweat on the canary
Don't
yellow
worry
Mustang.
about it. There's so much wax on this, you can dunk it in the ocean and it won't get wet.
You know what? I'm done with the car wash because when I was hand waxing this thing last summer, it was like a gleaming black.
Can I tell you what I did? I bought.
I used the spray-on wax.
Spray on, wipe off, but I use a ceramic coat. So the more you put on, the more of a clear coat it puts on the car to preserve it from the sun and everything else. Even on your lenses, you won't get the smoked out lenses. So always buy ceramic coat. It puts like a layer of ceramic, gives you that sheen, that shine. But I was throwing lights on, so I had to call this place and get a spacer for the, because the cat's gone. You know what I mean? So I was throwing lights on within the first 100 miles.
That's no fair. Your car's cooling down. I gotta pop my hood so I can let some of the heat.
First of all, you're gonna beat me anyway, man. I can't lose. You know why I can't lose? Because I'm just gonna say, that's a 4-cylinder. And if I win, I'm like, man, you lost to a 4-cylinder.
It's a lose-lose situation for me.
You got too much ass for me.
See, look here. This is where it's drawing air from, right over here.
Yep, mine had a boot that ran up into here.
Yeah, and that's factory.
Yep.
Now the one I want to get seals all this off.
Yep.
And your air intake's right here.
Directional onto the
and
spot.
these are right here.
Yeah, yeah, that works.
Well, maybe it'll work.
Sure. This should be.
Looks like the air. Looks like these scoops might be a little bit too.
It's still, you're going to be flooding the bay with air. As you're rolling, it's rolling through there. It doesn't have to be directly right onto the box.
Let me tell you, it's flooding the bay because before we adjusted this properly, when I took it out on 55, this thing was ready to lift up. It was lifting up a quarter. It was ready to fly off the car.
Scary. My 87 Grand National, right? I'm on 41 in Deptford, and I passed a lady over by Ricardo's Pizza. She's driving like an asshole, real slow, and I'm impatient. So when I punched it and went by her, I heard, what the fuck is that? So I asked my girl, my wife at the time, did you put the T-tops on? As soon as I said that, the driver's side took off. I grabbed it, 60 miles an hour. I got it by the hook, and it's banging off everything. I let it go because I almost broke my wrist. And went over the old lady's car, and when she bounced in the street, when she went by me, she went like this. I'm like, oh man, beat the car up all over the place. Had to replace it with plexiglass.
Let's take a look at your interior.
Sure.
This is a typical S550 interior. They all look great, really. Go ahead, Ant. Have a seat in there. Check it out.
Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, it looks good.
You got your standard round gauges. You don't have the one, you know, where they've got the thing that shoots around vertically or horizontally.
Right.
Nice yellow stitching over here.
That's the 50th anniversary thing. They did little things differently.
Okay. Go for a quick ride. Take Ant for a quick ride, and he can ask him any questions you want, Ant.
Sounds good.
Come on, Ant.
All right.
Don't run out of juice.
Want me to heat this thing up real quick so you can smoke it.
I want to get a driving perspective that's one that's other than the inside of my car.
No, this feels... Seats real smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's got all your modes here. Obviously, you can go in normal mode, sport mode, track mode, and that unlocks the rear. But then if you really want to unlock the rear, you got to hold this up for about 5 seconds. And when you let off, traction control's off.
I see.
Problem is, it's melting and I run the air, it robs you of all kinds of horsepower. Now you can paddle flip. I'm not big on paddle flipping. It's like running a stick. She's got a little bit of ass for a 4-cylinder.
No, it feels great, Rich. I mean, listen, I'm not a car guy. I don't know much about cars, but I just know they go fast.
Right. Now my guess is, well, he's going to beat me. He's got a big block. He should. But I'm going to give him everything I got.
Well, this is a smooth ride. That's more of like a muscle car, you know?
Right. You know, this is a... Now, when I bought this vehicle, the guy says, yo, Rich, why don't you try this 4-cylinder out? He said, it's only got, I think it had 9,000 miles on it. And I said to him, because I've ran Grand Nationals, I had a Mustang
It's this
GT.
way. It's just keep going up. We've raced down this road from the other side.
I've had a lot. It's had 69 Chevelles, so I've had vehicles. And I told him, I said, look, racing a 4-cylinder is like fucking with a rubber on. You just don't get it. And he said, no, you got to try it, man. Take it for a ride. So I took it for a ride. I'm like, maybe with a couple bolt-ons, it'll be something.
Yeah.
But, you know, they got cars out here with 600-700 freaking horse and shit like that now. The only thing I had going for me, it's lighter than the GT, but I'm less in horsepower.
shit makes me nervous on a public road. Let's just start going to Atco.
It's funny because I haven't been to Adco since the 80s.
I know,
it's been
it's
that long
safe.
since I've
You
been-
got a tree. You can heat your tires.
I'm
No
all
one's
about-
going to pull out in front of you.
The last car I took to Atco, this is no shit, this is God's honest truth, had a chrome roll bar in it. It was the Bandit 76 Trans Am, first 4-speed,
77
77 410 rear. I thought it was quick. You don't know what quick is until you get down Atco. You're standing still when you get down there. Cars are lining up and just beat me up. And that, because of that rear, you know, my first gear rolled from gear 10 feet. I got to second. It's just the rear gear ratio.
Was it a turbo 400 trans?
No, it wasn't a turbo.
Oh, automatics.
No, it was a 400.
Oh, you had a Hirsch 4-speed.
Hirsch 4-speed, 411 rear in the back.
That should have worked perfectly.
Nah, dude. Just like my Grand National I used to race down.
It had 343 gears with 700 horsepower trans.
My Mustang, my old Mustang, you had 308 open end, which I liked. It's just a better. I can rip out a hole, but I don't think people realize how long a quarter mile is either. A quarter mile is a long way, man.
Yo, we stayed in that a lot longer than I wanted.
Well, I was coming up on that bend, and I'm on the wrong side at that point.
And the other thing is, usually you can let off because you got the other guy put away. But that was like,
yeah, it was right there, man.
it was right there, and it was like, I'm not letting out. I'm not letting out.
Yeah.
He doesn't. We're not even gapped.
But I'm on the wrong side of the road coming on a bank, so I had to shut it down, man. Plus, I can hear it blowing out the bottom. It's the second time it's done.
All right, we got a rematch.
Yeah, man. Always, brother.